All right, Kenman here. It is shipwreck time. We are getting right to business. What is going on? This is a shipwrecked piece of copper. What do we think? How did we do this? How did it get to this? Well, we're going to do the entire process, start to finish, right now. Come along for the ride. Let's see how we do. I have this Rough Ryder Lockback. These are inexpensive little $6 knives. They're actually quite solid, sharp little guys. Rough Ryder makes some nice budget stuff. And it doesn't really come apart, but I want to test it out. We're going to see if we can make a shipwreck happen on here. And if we can't, we can. Either way, it's not a large investment. So it's a great piece to test. Okay, I am going to tape off the blade. I don't think it's going to be necessary per se, but I'm going to do it anyway. Actually, about there. Just to kind of keep, basically the shipwreck process will only work on copper and brass. This is brass. And so I figure I can tape off these just to help keep less salt and potential erosion happening on the steel, although it doesn't erode or patina. This is basically called a forced patina, what we're going to do here. So I don't know, that's about it. We're just going to try that. It's only going to be in there for like 6 hours. It's going to hit this hard. Any corrosion that happens to the steel is going to be less, so we'll see long term. All right, I have this container. Here's what we're going to do. I've got all these paper towel balls I've kind of already pre-made to make this little space right here. All right, so now I am going to take the magic ingredient ammonia. Try not to breathe the ammonia. Do this in well-ventilated area, fan outside. We're going to seal it up. So ultimately, once it's sealed up, it won't make the entire house leak. But while you're doing it, it is strong. So be careful, use good ventilation, be smart. Okay. So now I've got some ammonia in their base. It's just nice and wet. It's not completely waterlogged or they're not submerged. Now we're going to start doing some stuff. We're going to add some rock salt. And I'm just going to put it a little heavier on one side, just kind of get some everywhere. I'm going to take some regular table salt, sprinkle some of that in there, kind of get this activation going. I have a little vinegar. I'm going to seal this ammonia back up over here quick. Get this out of our world. All right, I'm going to splash just a little bit of this in a couple of places, just randomly. I'm going to splash this magic liquid in a couple of spots. This is actually soy sauce. Little tricks of the trade I've been trying to find, test. Do. Okay. So now we are going to put this in there, but I want to set that in there so it's kind of touching multiple areas and things. I don't know what that fizzy sound that's going on. I don't know if you can hear that. Sounds like someone's spray cleaning their car or something out in the. I have the windows open. It's nice out. Okay. So I'm going to pre-apply some things to this. Get down in there. Wow, that ammonia completely soaked up. I'm going to take some of this vinegar and just randomly get it going on here. Right? Then I'm going to take the other side of the Q-tip, do the same thing with the soy sauce. Let them mix even. Who knows exactly? I'm noticing that the soy sauce does have more water in it. It looked like it kind of acted as a resist for some of the sections, which then created the more areas that kind of just look like the brass rather than different colors of the reds and the greens and things. Okay, I'm going to try to set this in there, and then we're going to go over the top with a few pieces like this and this, so it's kind of touching it in random places, just like so. There we are. We're going to leave it at that. So I'm going to seal it up for about 6 hours, and we're going to come back and check on it. And away we go. Well, I decided to let her sit overnight, so it's actually been in here for about 12 hours. Let's see what happened. Out we go. Boom, boom. There it is. Right on. Got some interesting things happening. All right, so we want it to completely dry, so I'm just going to set it like that. Ooh, seal up my container. Yikes. And we'll dry it off and see where we are. All right. Boom. A few hours have gone by. I've let this completely kind of dry off. You can see, if I can get her to focus, the chunky little spots where the blue is, the excess residue and stuff. Just had a chance to sit there and kind of condense and dry on the part. So now we're going to wash it off. This is the spot where in other cases I would just dip the whole thing in the water. I've got warm water here, but I think in this case I'm just going to rub it off so I'm not getting any excess water in here that's not necessary. But so here's what it looks like before the rinse. Of course, a lot of that blue is going to wash away. It's not actually worked into the metal. So let's just go ahead and get going. Basically just wetting my finger there and use this water basically as a rinse and remove any excess salts and vinegars and ammonia that's on there. So as you can see, a lot of the blue goes away, but it does kind of wear in excuse me. So it's not like I'm sanding off parts. Any parts that I'm wiping off now just aren't connected. They really aren't attached. None of this really attaches in this process. It's more of the chemicals actually physically changing the brass or the copper itself. Does that make sense? Sure, Kenman. All right, so a couple more wipes. This looks cool. There is kind of a texture right there. Generally, you'll feel like this side is pretty much smooth all the way across. It has worked and etched itself, kind of patinaed into the metal. But like right there, I can actually feel a little texture. Sorry if that's out of focus. You can kind of see it right there. But I'm not able to rub that away. It's like physically change the surface a little bit. All right, so now let's use this paper towel, kind of wipe this off, dry it up, see if I got all the pieces off. Looks like I've done it. I'm going to take the tape off the blade, which I put on there obviously kind of to help protect it. Looks nice and clean. Ultimately, since this process only affects excuse me, copper and brass, got a hair in there, sorry. And we're going to get this water out of my way. It only affects copper and brass, so the stainless and the liner and everything there didn't get affected. It's pretty much dry in the middle here. Maybe do the lock. Try to get in there. I do have some compressed air somewhere I can kind of spray in there kind of like a that, and just blow out any excess. Try to get underneath there when the lock moves. And just kind of wipe everything down since I wasn't able to take this apart. Okay, so there it is, closed up, open. Seems to work just fine, still locks out nice, still feels solid. Let's see what we got. Very interesting kind of lines and marks. Not a lot of the blue, but a lot of this kind of yellow and green and the swirls and the marbly kind of action. I think that looks cool. I'm happy with it. I'm going to spray clear coat it. Probably go with the matte or maybe the gloss. I don't know. But yeah, so we're going to cut. I'm going to maybe tape this back off, spray some clear coat on here, and we'll see what it looks like after that. I'm pretty happy. All right, and okay, so what I've done is I've taped off the blade. I put a little hook so I can hang it like this when I'm letting it kind of sit, and we're going to clear coat it a few times. You can take one more look before we put that coat on there. I'm going to try not to really spray any on the inside. I am using a matte clear. All right. Really light coats. There we are. Nice little coat on there. We're going to let it sit for about 15 minutes, and then we will put on another layer. We'll do that maybe 4, 5, 6 layers, and then we'll come back. We have done it. Oh yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I wasn't sure with this knife and not being able to take it apart how it was going to go, but you can see here, clicks out nice, still solid. Look at that steel all the way around, still looks nice and clean. And look at our shipwreck. What do we think? Not as much blue maybe as would have liked. But man, this kind of swirly, marbly patterns. Oh, I am happy. Let's do a before and after shot. I bought 3 of these. Click. So there you go. Before, after. Nice and clean, simple. Man, these were inexpensive. I have 2 more. This one and another one that we're going to do another variation on this, maybe try do something a little different, make it a little different. But the reality is I could do it just like this again and I would be completely happy. I think this turned out awesome. Let's do a little close-up. Just all the little subtle little lines. Look, you can see where the pins are now. See, there's a pin right there. There's another pin right there. The way they did this with these pins, it was like they pinned it and then they sanded it or whatever. You could not see those pins. They did not really stick out. But now you can see that one right above my thumb there, halfway through that blue line. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't bother me at all. But I was just curious how this was, if it was capped and glued or what. But you can now see those pins. But the stuff we put in there left some nice, cool little marbling. Look at those yellows and blues and the blacks. I dig it. I'm loving the shipwreck process. I will be doing more of this. Comment below, what do you think? How did it turn out? Ooh. Much more of this to come. Like I said, I got this clean one. I got several knives ready to go. I love doing this, and I will be doing a lot more of it. Stay sharp. We'll see you soon.